Everyone, welcome back to PintheQ podcast. You've asked for it, so we're giving it to you. Our first roundtable. Only problem is, table's not round. Right?
It's true.
Table's not round.
A little rectangularish.
A little rectangular. But nevertheless, it is a round table. That's what we're here. We're here at Axe Head Threads. Everyone knows Axe Head. We've been talking about him for a while. Everybody's been following him for a while. We're here. Cannot wait to do this. Guess who else is in the house?
Yeah.
You might know these two cats. There's Blake from Next Wrong and Charlie. We're here. We're going to get it down, and we're going to start talking, right?
Yeah.
Open dialogue.
Yeah.
So what we talk about all the time on the show is that kitchen table, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about the kitchen table. We talk about that open dialogue. So that's what we're going to do today. That's what this is all about right here. This is that open table. This is that dialogue. So let's do this. First and foremost, thanks for letting me into this place. Right?
Man.
Had a lot of fun here today.
Absolutely, man. More than welcome.
How you guys like it, Indy?
Dude, it's been great so far, man. Having a blast as always.
Yeah.
So.
We love having these guys. It's awesome, man. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, walking around just seeing everybody,
right?
You know, and how many people recognize you?
I don't know. They recognize this guy more than me.
He is good looking. Just Cali, just avocado, Cali.
We've already decided that we're gonna.
I should just dress up like an avocado.
We decided we're gonna make a next run calendar. Charlie's body's gonna
He's
be
just
on there.
January through December.
12 months of Charlie. Blake's face.
12 months of Charlie.
Blake's face.
Photoshop Blake's face.
12 months
That's
of
fantastic.
I like it.
That's fantastic.
No, man, it's been good. We have had people recognize us and come up and take pictures. People wearing shirts, things like that.
A lot of people wearing shirts, man.
Yeah,
cool.
man, it's been
so cool.
It's a different story from last year. We were just getting started. I guess last year, and to be a year into it and to see the people who support us, man, is absolutely incredible.
How crazy is it for you to walk around and literally see, like you just said, people wearing the Next Wrong shirt? I mean, that's your shirt.
Yeah,
that's your mission, right? I mean, what is that like?
It's humbling, man. I mean, honestly, that's Charlie and I talk about this often, and he may say the same thing, but it's humbling to me. I never thought, in 1,000 years I would see something like that, and then just to have people, business owners, guys like, that we have here, Axe Head or Toxic or whoever it may be, they're just like, man, we're impressed, that you've done so well, and it's great, man. We're just excited to be here to help people, so I guess
so the cool thing on that, like you just said, is when Andy and I both got in this business, we were all about giving back.
Yeah.
We give back to our youth leagues around here. We give back to golf outings. We give back all the time. So both of us giving back to especially Next Rung for our job alone is just out of control. I mean, it's so cool.
Oh yeah. The coolest thing is watching what they do.
Yep.
Because they don't care, like the shirts, seeing all that. They could care less about the shirts. It's
helping people.
It's the fact that what they're trying to do is getting out there. It's not the apparel. It's the message, which is it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Very, very cool,
It's
man.
And much like Blake said, I mean, it's extremely humbling to have someone come up, recognize you, say hi, say thank you. But when you see someone wearing a shirt or a hat or anything like that, it's validation.
Oh, yeah.
That not only, I mean, they want to buy your stuff and we're putting out something that they want, but the cause behind the shirt,
why they bought it,
why they bought it, what brought them to the website, what brought them to to us to then entice them to buy a shirt or a hat or a sticker or whatever it may be to put on their stuff, and then that leads to someone asking, hey, what is that? And then now they're spreading the mission and the word, and this is what they do, and so that right there gives us some validation that hey, we're doing something right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a needed thing, and so for us, it's like, okay, keep charging, keep going, because there's, we're making a difference.
I think, like, to add on top of that real fast, and we can move on if we want, but even today, so obviously we do the peer support aspect of it. We talk back and forth with people. Well, Charlie got to, like, one of the guys that he took through the whole peer support process, like, actually came up and found him today. We got a picture together with him.
That's awesome, man.
Like, that's the cool part.
validation.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
it
like,
right there.
Yeah. Anytime you can, like, you're putting a name with a face,
Yeah.
I mean, that right there. Anytime you get a photo of someone that says, hey, thank you, it's because of this that I have this, and then to be able to personally stand in front of someone and they go, I talked to you on this day, and you saved me, or
what I'm doing.
See,
good.
that's the beautiful thing about FDIC, though. In this business, you're not promised tomorrow. in the fire service. Like, there is no promise of tomorrow.
You're right.
So when you get the opportunity every April to see people from other states, maybe other countries that don't have that promise of tomorrow, and you give them a hug and say, we made it to another April, that's why FDIC is so special.
Absolutely.
Like next year,
Absolutely.
and when you give those hugs to those people that come from out of town like that, it means more.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Brother, it's awesome.
You know something that I don't know that I've ever asked you too. How did this come about?
Yeah, so
I don't know that I've ever heard this real story. I don't know if we have time for this or
The
whatever.
first
but
time we were here last year was the first time you guys met in person, right?
Yeah.
Which is
So
crazy.
we knew your
Crazy.
mission.
Yeah.
We knew what you did. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we've
And you
ever
guys meet the
known
first
how
time,
it happened.
Yeah, man, we can kind of give you, I guess, a quick, in a nutshell.
Kind of like, where'd you two meet?
How did this happen?
Well,
It
he
was
saw
a
me.
summer night.
Does your wives know?
So, I mean, I started this in 2017, January 2017, and honestly, man, like I was just going to do an apparel company, and I wanted to take the money and give back to an organization that, I thought was doing great things. And when it came down to it, I honestly didn't find anything that I was looking to give back to that, I wanted to be a part of. If that makes sense, I guess, where my heart was.
Yeah.
And so about 6 months into that, I brought Charlie on board. We actually met on Instagram. So like
Not
he
Tinder.
Tinder, not
yeah,
Tinder.
not Tinder. Instagram. Yeah, so I started following him somehow or whatever. Maybe I stalked him. I don't know. He's a
Swipe
good looking
with
dude.
left,
Yeah.
left or right.
So
whatever
I
it
sent him a
is.
post and I was like, "Hey man, will you put one of these stickers on something, or hey, would you wear a shirt or whatever?" And we just got to talking, man. Really, we're a lot alike. We had the same, I guess. Goals, common interests, and things like that. So anyway, after talking with him for a while, I was like, dude, I don't want to do this like alone. I can't do it alone. Like, I'm getting overwhelmed already. Like, hey, would you be a part of what we're doing? And anyway, so the backstory to why I started it was honestly to give back. But, through that, we decided to become a nonprofit ourselves. And really what inspired me for the mental health aspect of it is, one, it wasn't shown enough attention. But there was, through my rookie school, someone who impacted my life and came up and did a lot of training with us and things like that. Well, 6 months into my rookie year, he actually took his own life. And just someone that man, was always smiling, laughing, and, it just made me realize you don't know what everyone's going through. You don't know what's going on in their mind. And he had great people around him, and there's just issues, that were going on that, he just saw fit to, take his life afterward. And it just really impacted me, and then to see on top of that suicides outnumber line of duty deaths.
It's
we're taking more of our lives from
Crazy,
ourselves than the actual fire
Job
is, or the job in general, so that impacted me a lot. And then, Charlie shared, common interest, and he can, elaborate on that, but that was the reason behind
That's
all
awesome.
of it. Yeah. So
It's cool how you guys met just through that, but you're so similar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And last year, I'll never forget you saying, "Well, it's the first time I've ever been going to pick him up at the airport."
Yeah.
First time I ever met him, and I was mind blown.
Oh, yeah.
And then 15 minutes into it, it felt like you guys have known each other
Yeah,
for
man.
15 years. Dude, it's awesome.
It's
It is.
great.
It's a
Tinder
cool.
did not turn you
It's
swipe right.
it's a cool.
swipe left.
It's a cool. It's a cool thing, man. It really
Yeah.
is. Very very
Yeah,
cool.
it's a trip, man. If you go, because I'm in California and Blake's in Georgia, and for him to, he reached out to me again through social media. He said, "Hey, can you rep this shirt on the West Coast? Because what I want is someone to have my shirt in every state. I want to have a group of 50 people."
Like Mr. December. Yeah.
So I was like, "Absolutely, man. Send it out. Like, I'll do whatever I can for you, man. This is awesome." And so he did, and then we just started talking, and he approached me. He goes, "Hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, and I really want you to digest this and talk to your wife, pray about it, whatever you need to do. You don't need to tell me right now, but I really would like to do this with someone else. I want to have a partner in this, and I think we have some like interest, and so tell me what you think. Take some time, talk about it, and then get back to me." And so I did. I talked to my wife about it. Said, "Hey, this guy in Georgia."
Crazy.
This
So
guy.
I met this
Dude,
guy.
Yeah, and she's like, "What?"
What?
I'm not being catfished, I promise.
So,
Charlie went down to Georgia and was looking for a heart to steal.
exactly.
Yes.
So I was like, man, I'm jumping in. There's it really didn't take much of a conversation, and we went back and forth. Hey, what do you want to do? You want to be for-profit, non-profit? We want to focus on fitness stuff because we're both enjoy that side of things, and you know what? That's kind of
Sucking in.
well, it's just like that's kind of been not being done a lot, or that the market's oversaturated. But it's like
there's
other people, there's great organizations that are doing that,
yeah.
and no one's really tackling this mental health issue,
It's
right?
and
it's been like I had heard fire chiefs hot button issue, right? Well, they go to this fire chiefs conference, they're talking about mental health. You go back. And then silence. No resources. No. Hey, go check out this website. You check it out. There's nothing there.
Well,
man, we need to.
The crazy thing is you have something tragic in your area. If you don't talk to the guys on your crew, you don't want to just talk to just anybody.
Anybody's not in the job.
That's not in the job or whatever.
That's the coolest thing.
You want to talk to guys that are living it, they're breathing it.
sure.
The guys that have maybe been there or not been there, but the guys that understand it. You just don't reach out to nobody.
Right. Right.
So.
And so then after we decided, and Blake had his own experience. Well, that December of 2017, and we hadn't gotten our nonprofit status yet. We decided this is what we're going to do, and we kind of started this, getting the name out there and everything. But December of 2017, we had a big fire right next to my house, the Thomas Fire, Wildland Fire. At the time, it was the largest fire in the state of California, and it'd been on for 13 days. And one day we get word that a firefighter had been killed on the fire, and so we're we're doing our thing. It's kind of a somber morning, and anytime that happens, just kind of like we got to go to work, and we're like, man, you're focusing and thinking about the stuff, and then information starts coming out. They'd released a name, not a face. The name that had come out was very similar to a name that I knew, and I was kind of like, I hope that that's not, who I think it is. And so I called him, and he didn't answer. I didn't even know he was on the fire. And turns out it was my buddy. And we had gotten hired together, went through training for CAL FIRE at the time. And so when I came through, and I told my captain that I knew who it was. They immediately that night, they asked, hey, are you okay? What's going on? Or, are you going to be okay? I said, yeah, I'll be fine. Because we were doing stuff. You're staying busy.
Yeah.
Well, then the night came, and the fire laid down, and now we're calming down, and it really started to kind of lay into me. So they came to me, and they said, you're going home. And I was like, I didn't ask to go home. I don't know. We got a job to do. We're here. We're working, And they're like, no, it's already gone up the chain. You're going home. You got to go home to see your family. Like, all right. So they put me in the fire engine. And then drove me to my house, which was 45 minutes away. And I lived in the county, where the fire was at. And so they drove me to my house, front door, called my wife, said, hey, I'm coming home. And she met me on the porch. It was like midnight at the time. And from that day, then his funeral procession was 2 days later. And I was out. I actually went back on duty. They asked me if I wanted to. They were going to give it to me off. I said, no, I want to come back to work. And they did the funeral procession, and my chief at the time, he said, no matter what happens, you guys are going to be out of service. Your engine's going to stand on the overpass that he's coming under, and every other apparatus is going to be available, and it's going to take calls, and if something comes in, but you guys are going to be the only ones that are out of service. You're going to stand there. So, the guys between our we have a peer support group in the department. My captain was our union president at the time. And the support that I got from those guys, and then further down the road, going to his funeral, just all of it came to it that I got to see the benefits of that, and talking to people, and it really just put a stamp of this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
you're supposed to now take this and give it back,
That's what the brotherhood's about.
to others, and so that's my. This is why we're here, and this is what we're supposed to do, so that you can take that and give that to someone else, and in their time of need. Now, I never thought in a million years that this is where I would be. It's just I'm gonna be a fireman, and this is this is what we're gonna be doing, right?
Yeah.
Not thinking when you're trying to get hired in the fire service, and you're just I just want to be a fireman.
That's all it is.
And but nothing else matters, and nothing else none of the peripheral stuff even comes into play.
Yeah.
You know, and now like when we get new guys, they come in. You know, one of the first things I sit down to, I'm like, hey, if anything ever comes up, you need to like you say something.
Yeah.
You know, you need to reach out because no one told us that.
No
one sits down like in your academy training and says, hey, like this is what happens.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I just want to share a personal story, and I told you guys off camera about this, and I'm going to share it. I'm obviously not going to mention the guy's name, but yeah, I was difficult to listen to. So, a guy that watches the show, you know, this guy's known a long time. He's a I don't want to give too much away. He's a good dude, you know, and a lot of people watch my show and know who he is and know of him. But he's going through some rough times right now, and because of your mission, because of what you guys are doing, he reached out and got help, and he sent me a message. He called me personally, and he said, "Hey man, I'm having a rough time. I don't know what to do. I think I might have a problem, and I need to talk to somebody." So that dialogue started because of what you're doing, because of Next Rung, and he told me that. He said, Next Rung, in your episodes, and you talk about their mission and talk about helping each other, like you said, the brotherhood.
Yeah.
This guy, I got him the information immediately. The next day, reaches out to me. By 10 a.m., he's already seen somebody. He's in therapy right now. He's kicking its ass.
Yes.
And he assured me that he's going to get through this, fix when he needs to fix so he can get back to what he should be doing, and that's firefighting. But right now, brother, we're thinking about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's
Absolutely.
We love
raise
you.
a glass.
Yep.
Charlie's friend.
Absolutely.
We love you,
And your
you
brother.
get in there, man.
For sure.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean, this is what it's all about.
Yeah,
and it's like,
absolutely. It was surreal watching people come up to you guys today, and we had a few guys that come up and said what they went through.
don't worry about that.
What they went through. What they went through, and that you guys helped, and it is, man. It's crazy, and it's not that I'm a part of any of it, but it's going from last year to when you guys came in to where you guys first met in person, and seeing people come up and watching both of you be so passionate about what you're doing, and now this year, guys coming up and knowing who you are, knowing your message, and saying, "Hey, you help. Hey, I want to tell you, thank you." Like it's awesome. It's cool, man.
Walking the halls.
It's so.
It's touched them.
Yeah, that's so far past selling a T-shirt or a hat. Like that's what it's about.
Well, I think even the cool part too is, I mean, obviously what we do is, you know, it's a nonprofit and things like that. You know, people are grateful for it, and we're grateful for it too. But I think to me, like one of the greatest things is, other than outside of helping the people that come to us, is the support that we receive from, you know, just the community as a whole. You know, the businesses and things like that. I mean, obviously we're sitting here with Axehead, but their support, you know, and just being there and just things like that. Like, I mean, that's, you know, they want to help, like they want to give back, you know, and we're sharing a booth this week with these guys and with Taylor's Tins. I mean,
Oh shoot! Last year, hey, stay in our fire station. You guys
Yeah.
can for a hotel.
it's just, I mean, like everyone,
Okay.
everyone just,
I've never met you, and I'm sleeping in your fire
yeah,
station.
they just always are willing to just lend a helping hand. But
It wasn't bad though, right?
no, it's awesome. It's like a Ritz Carlton.
Playing room in 2 years.
Yeah,
man.
Ritz Carlton over there.
yeah.
But I mean, to me, like that's one of the greatest parts is just the family that we've built. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's
fire
just-
service,
it's
and I wrote an article on this. You know, it's something that I put out. I mean, it spans literally from coast to coast, like across, you know, the entire world. But obviously, from East Coast to West Coast, I mean, and we're all here for the same reason. Obviously, you know, we all want to give back. We want to do greater, better things, and leave the fire service better than what we found it. You know, and that's our goal. And I mean, that was the whole reason I started into the fire service. And I mean, it's been absolutely fantastic. You know, and you know, I think what Andy says, obviously, we kind of address the elephant in the room. It's not always the funnest, most looked up to.
We're all big.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's
wants
not
to talk
exciting
about it.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, and I remind myself of that often because, we were talking about earlier. I mean, there's some people that come in and their Instagrams and their companies just explode.
Yeah.
It's because they have great content. Like, it's fun to watch. It's
Yeah.
fun to be a part of.
Yeah.
Well, we're addressing the skeleton in the closet, so to speak, because it hasn't been spoken of, things like that, and so it's not fun all the time. I mean, it's very somber and things like that, but we want to address it to where, it becomes normal. People are excited to sit down and talk with each other and it not be something
It's
like,
open,
I
not
have
something
to
you're
hide
embarrassed
from
about.
it,
Yeah,
I got to
absolutely.
continue
That's the
to
biggest thing.
file all these
It is.
things to the back
It
of my
is.
brain and forget about it, and I mean, it's starting to come around, but we have just a long way to go. I mean, as everyone knows, the fire service is reactive.
Oh,
I think,
yeah.
I mean, so that's where the issue comes from, and I guess the more and more we're proactive about trying to, make this not a stigma, breaking that, identity for it. I mean, our hope is that it becomes normal, but until it becomes a normal discussion around the table, with coffee or whatever it may be at the firehouse, it's not going to be broken. And obviously that starts with us, I mean, that starts with every person has that right, and that's what I love about the round table idea. It doesn't matter what house you're in, what department you serve, when you sit down at that table, all ranks are gone.
table.
Like,
Yeah.
everyone's the
You're there
same,
to
I
talk,
mean,
yeah.
we're all equals at that point.
Yeah.
You get to share that stuff,
It's a catch-22 because you got in this job to help people.
Right.
I don't need help. I'm bigger than that. I don't need help. But you saying yes, yeah, you do. When you do, you need help, and it's cool, man.
That's the thing. I mean,
So cool.
and just to say that, like, I don't ever want anyone to think that, we think we're better than anyone else because we're the one that's lending the help out. We have our stuff that we do.
You're just
as
making
well.
it okay that they need
Yeah,
help.
I mean, the experiences that I've gone through, man, I use those so that I can speak and talk with other people and say, hey, like, I've been through that, very similar situation and cause, and to have someone call and, I mean, one guy said the other day, and he called in, man. We were just talking about things just in a really bad spot, but he made a joke that only you and I would laugh at, And he's like,
it's the
thank
firehouse
God
humor.
that you laughed at that,
It's the firehouse humor, man.
Yeah,
You make
and
a
so
joke at your
he was
wife's
just
company
thankful.
party.
He's like, man, I'm just thankful you laughed at that. He's like, that shows me how real you are, and that I needed to speak with someone that was like me because you understand, you get
Run
it.
into that
brotherhood.
all the time.
All the time,
Family
man.
functions will
All
have
the
some,
time. You say
we'll have
something
some
like-
funny humor.
They're like,
And
what?
I'm like, thank
Like,
God
shit.
Andy's here.
Yeah.
He laughed, and everybody else is looking
I
at me
should have
like,
said it at the firehouse. Shouldn't have said that here. Should have said
Let
at
that
the
joke
firehouse.
go.
Yeah, damn it. Damn it. So, no, it's cool,
Yeah.
man.
But I think the fact that we have that type of humor is what gets us through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And-
Completely agree.
If you
Most
join
definitely.
if you join the fire service, whether it's career or volunteer, and you don't have thick skin,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
you're gonna have
It's
a problem.
trouble.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're
you're
gonna get made fun of. I've always said it is the best, and Tony, my lieutenant here that I drive, will quote that. I say it probably twice a week.
Absolutely.
It's the greatest, worst job in the world. It's the best job out there, but you will get made fun of
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You can't do anything. You'll get made fun of for everything. You eat healthy, I'm gonna make fun of you. Like, I mean, literally everything.
And I think, too, like,
But it's
what makes-
awesome. It's
CrossFit's the greatest example of that.
Yeah, yeah.
You CrossFit, and they're
Yeah.
going to make fun of
Yeah,
you.
what
But
do you-
really, this guy's trying to improve his
That's
life.
why I started
What do you
following
do?
Charlie
You
because
do
he CrossFit,
functional
yeah.
fitness? Like, I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's
make
like,
fun
yeah,
of
I'm
you.
gonna make fun of this guy.
Because
But
you
it's
spend
like, I
so
don't
much.
know.
You spend so much money.
Yeah.
It's like what? But
Yeah.
it's the
This
great.
guy meal preps. Let's make fun of
But
him.
that's
but
the
in all
brother. That's the
reality,
brother.
that's
That's the brotherhood. 'Cause I
So
know
they
you'll
want
give me
it.
your
They're like,
shirt.
hey, I want that.
Yeah,
Like, how
yeah.
did you do that?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
and that's kind of where this comes down to. We don't want this, and it is right now. It's like the last ditch effort. Hey man, like I want to talk to you because nothing else is working right now. Like I'm drinking myself to death, or I'm just kind of done with being where I'm at. I've tried everything else. This is like my last line right here, and that's hard. I mean, Charlie's been there obviously too. I mean, we've both been in those situations where we're literally the last line before someone actually considers taking their life, and so there's that pressure there. I mean, and we're grateful to be in that situation, that position, but it's hard, man, but it's
Let
good.
me ask,
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How much? How much do you think about that? Is that weigh on you? Weighing that there's possibly like you just said, you
It
might
does.
be someone's last lifeline.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and Charlie can speak to that too. I mean, he's been in that situation, as much as I have. So I'll let him shed some light on that.
It's tough when you you get that phone call or that message that, hey, this is it. like I can't take anymore, you know, and you got someone who's in tears, or, you know, they're sending you this message, and you know, our first obligation is to someone's safety, you know, regardless of like trying to be the nice guy or doing like that. If I got someone who's like right there, you know, what do I need to do to intervene right now? Because there's no words I could say, I mean, that I think I could say that is gonna either stop this person, you know, right there in their tracks. Right. So if they're seriously intent, right, and you actually have a clear intent, you know, do I need to find out where they're at, contact authorities, and get someone there now? That's like the first thing that goes through your mind, right? And then from there, once it's kind of like they're saying something, but they don't have that intent, you know, now it's, okay, now I need to de-escalate this, like try and de-escalate the situation, and do it to the best of my abilities. And yeah, there's some pressure there because you don't want to say or be interpreted as saying, you know, the wrong thing. But really what I think it comes down to is these people are reaching out, and they're not necessarily reaching out because they want advice, right? They want you to tell them something that's going to change them and make them feel better. It's more of like, I want someone to listen to me.
Yeah.
And so how can we be an active listener, get them to start talking, you know? And so we try and just follow some simple questions, simple things. Hey, you know, like kind of what's going on to create a sense of calm. And then once you've got that sense of calmness, then it's kind of like, okay, we're going to work through this. And it could be a long process. I mean, it could take a long time, months, you know, of talking. But then obviously our next goal is to get them to a professional, you know. But the stress of that, I mean, it weighs on you at the time. You kind of go, because you don't know who's on the other end of that line. Like anytime the phone rings or you get a message or something like that, you don't know what's happening on the other side. When the phone rings and it says, I mean, for me, it just shows next rung, right? It's mostly anonymous until they say who they are. Right. So I don't know what's going on. Like, all I know is I'm getting a phone call from next rung, right? Either Blake or myself's going to answer it. And I don't know what I'm walking into. And it's just like being at the firehouse. Right. You get a call, you know, depending on where you're at, what your emergency is. Like, I mean, for us now, we get a pre-dispatch, you know, but even then we're like, you know what? Like, we could be going on the shortest of breath, and we get there, it's like a cardiac arrest or it's a nosebleed, you know?
You guys get that too.
Yeah. So, you know, but like you don't have any idea what you're walking into, right. You know, so you really don't know what you're answering the phone to, right? Could be a great thing. Could be, hey, I'm calling because like something went really well or whatever, you know? So there's a little bit of like, you get those butterflies in your stomach, like what am I about to hear on the other end of the line? But you know what, Blake and I, we're just like you guys. We're just like the other person on the other line, and we bounce stuff off each other. You know, we're gonna try and get through this, you know, conversation and try and help this person the best we can. And then, you know, I've had people say, "You guys are foolish for doing this because you have your own issues at home, or you have your own issues. You know, you're an active duty firefighter. You're doing like you're running calls. What happens when you have an issue, and now you're taking on someone else's issue? Right. Then, like, are you getting compounded? Are you gonna be able to cope with this? And I think what we've come to a good thing with is that, you know what, we're kind of recognizing those things maybe a little sooner. And so, you know, Blake and I talk to each other, and actually even talking with other people when they're calling for help, it's actually helpful to us. Because now you start talking about your own experiences, and you're like, you know what, like that actually really did help me. Or I'm not going to tell them this because that didn't help me. You know, like, and so you kind of know where to go with that. So it's therapeutic in that aspect. So the more we do it, now, the more calm we become, and the more those things that are in our past to start to become more distant, you know. So there's that side of it that it's just like there's a heightened sense, and then it comes down, and then we bounce each other, you know, off each other, and it, you know, it seems to be working. It works its way out, you know. But right now, I mean, we're getting, as more and more people are becoming aware of our mission, and they're reaching out for help. It can be at times we're like, hey, I'm talking to this person. Can you take? I can't talk to it. I need you to, you know. And so we're constantly saying, you know, talking to each other like, can you answer that call, or can you call that person back, or you take the? I got something to do.
Definitely got to share the load. I mean, and so we'll do that. Like you said, he'll be talking with someone like, hey man, like, can I call you right now? Well, he's on duty, like making a run. I'm off duty. I'm like, hey, I'll talk to him. You know, send him my way. So we share that, you know, and people have been great about that as well. They're like, hey, as long as I can talk to somebody. Yeah. I don't care, you know.
They're
but-
comfortable with it. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, but and I think the cool thing too is, I mean, we have us, man. Like, we've become really close.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
we always look forward to seeing
Oh,
each
yeah.
other and things like that.
We're
But now,
ecstatic.
like we got this guy right here, Tony. He's got a hand on each side, so he's with access.
What is that
double-
stuff
it's
right
double
now?
dip-
it's double
This
dipping.
dude doesn't talk any other time, and I don't know why he's not talking now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
quiet over here.
He's
I
double-
listen.
Here
I
or at the
listen more than I
firehouse.
talk. That's my
Yeah.
stance. Active
He's
listening.
he's double dipping.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But we're grateful for Tony. We did reach out to him. I was like, Charlie, like, did you see that guy at FDIC last year? Like, that dude didn't meet a stranger. You know?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
That was-
we were impressed with Tony, man.
Came out of the womb talking.
Straight
out of my mother's womb
I'll
talking.
never forget him. Firehouse saying, "Hey, Blake reached out to me that want me to be the help with the Indiana portion of Next Rung," and I
Yeah.
thought that doesn't surprise me at
Doesn't
all.
surprise me at all.
Literally
You don't
at
stop
all.
talking.
At all. You don't stop talking, but he's got a
Shut
heart of
him
gold,
up.
so it makes
Yeah.
sense. It makes sense, man.
And now he
He's-
serves on our board of directors.
Exactly.
man.
That might have been a mistake.
Yeah.
He's about he's about the brotherhood.
Yeah,
So
he is.
that's the coolest thing about all of
Absolutely.
this, man. It really is. This week is. And I've said it 1,000 times. It's surreal. It's humbling. It's cool. Like we tell everyone today that bought a hat that had our logo. We sell stuff that doesn't have our logo, but they bought a hat with our logo, and I tell every single one of them, it's baffling to me that you want to wear something that is
Right.
what we created, because we're idiots. Like we love the fire. We love the fire service. We love the brotherhood. But like that's it. That's the end of it. Like we want to make some cool stuff, and it's crazy that people like
Have
it.
you ever come across people that are like, there isn't a brotherhood in this job anymore? I've had several
Yeah.
people just be like, the brotherhood is it's just for selling T-shirts, and I don't know that they've ever experienced it on the level that I have. This week,
I can answer that.
last FDIC. I mean, I met Frank
2 days ago.
3 or 4 days ago, and I feel like if he was like, "Hey man, I can't get a hotel room," I'm like, "Hey, Frank's on the couch."
I got an emergency. I got an emergency.
Yeah.
I got an emergency in
Frank's in the bed,
Jersey,
I'm on the
and I need you to babysit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's the coolest. That's the coolest part about it. Is
Yep.
it's putting faith. Like, it is, man. It's just
Well-
you click.
We met Taylor's Tins.
Yes.
We met him last year.
Last
a
year,
little
he
bit.
was
No,
walking around.
no,
Oh, he didn't.
Oh, he
His-
didn't.
His guys
Yeah.
were. He had 2 guys here. He was in
Yeah.
Rome.
So
he couldn't make it.
literally, we split a booth with a guy we haven't even met in person at FDIC.
How's that?
Sir.
Literally
How's that work?
built a booth and
Built
sent him
a
a
booth.
picture and said, "Hey, dude, here's your side." And he is. It's been awesome.
All right, so again, you want to talk about the brotherhood? How can the brotherhood not be alive and well
When you got this,
when you have all this?
Right.
Like this right here is my example of how the brotherhood's real. Like you got guys from Georgia, right? Where are you from, brother?
California.
California.
The
Indiana,
other guy.
Yeah.
The other guy.
in Jersey,
Indiana,
In Jersey?
The other
New
one.
Jersey.
and Jersey,
Other one.
who I mean,
Right, so here we are around this round table, and we're having open dialogue about things, and we're opening up. You told a very personal
Very
story.
personal, absolutely.
Very, very personal story that obviously touched you, as did yourself. I know you three guys have very
Oh, yeah.
similar
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
So if the brotherhood's not alive and well, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
You know, like
Sure.
it's a lie. It's a
Anybody-
lie.
Anybody who questions it.
If you don't think the brotherhood exists,
Kill you.
then you haven't opened up enough.
Right.
I mean, because there's no other way that you could describe the relationships you meet. You walk into a firehouse
Yeah, 100%.
in Jersey or California or Georgia, and you have a home.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
you have a safe place.
I met all you guys just now, and
Yeah.
you know,
Literally,
and
yeah.
you all feel like brothers.
That's
to
what
me.
I said. I'll
Right.
I'll come to Jersey. You need something. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm there. Like,
Sure.
that's the best part about it. It's awesome.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
can it not be real?
You Jersey guys, dude. There's
Nah,
quite a few
connection.
here.
The
Yeah.
connection. Everyone I meet from
Gaggle
Jersey,
of
I'm
them.
like, man, maybe I
so
should move to Jersey.
One of the first Jersey guys that I ever met was Rob Meyer from
Oh, yeah, Ridgeway.
Leather.
Shout
Ah,
out, shout out,
yes,
shout out,
yes.
shout out, Ridgeway
Yeah,
Leather.
man. Like
All your leather needs.
Yeah, I mean, solid work with radio straps and just, I mean, amazing. But the guy's awesome. And we're
Good
coming
dude.
up to Jersey. He's like, hey brother, you can come stay at my house. It's just stuff like that. Like that's the brotherhood.
Yeah.
I mean. Jimmy's kids come in earlier, man. Like we're just playing,
yeah.
having
So
fun.
excited to see
His
you.
wife walks in the door and gives a hug. I mean, it's just like that's family, man.
absolutely,
I mean,
yeah. You can't
it's
fake that.
absolutely
No.
incredible.
You can't fake that.
No, not
So,
not
so
at all.
people who question the brotherhood, like you said, they question it. you got to wonder what the hell's going on there because
Yeah.
Or why they're in the
they're
shop.
not.
Yeah.
Why are they
If
in
there's
this?
a question, then why are you?
Mind the shop.
Yeah.
But it's the it's the dynamic. It's what's there though too. It makes you question what the department's doing. What from top to bottom. What are you doing to not make that important? But
Sure.
And it's one of those things, man. Like you don't understand until you're in the middle of it. You know, I mean, that's the cool thing.
I
too,
know
I
Jimmy
guess.
can attest, and I don't know how many of the others have, especially as a company officer. You cannot have a crew of guys that work for you and not be close to them. It's the whole, the Buddy the Boss. It's a fantastic book. I've read it twice. I read the first edition. I read the second. But however, like I can be my brother's keeper. That's the only way to describe it. Like the guys that work for me, they are my family, and I don't understand that.
Well, a true brother can set aside when you're the boss and when you're the friend. And if they can't, they're really not a friend.
yeah,
Right.
You know, because a true friend will put that aside.
I've always said to be the toughest part about being a company officer
It
is
is.
finding that
It
for
is.
sure,
Yeah.
because
That's
it
it.
is. You're so close.
We joke about it all the time because Andy got him my right. He works for me every third day. I work for him the other two out of the three.
Very unique.
So,
I like
as
it.
much as I want to fire him every third day, I come in here and he's like, I want to fire you.
It's cool, man.
That's great,
It's
man.
awesome. It's awesome, man. The fire service is
It's unique.
it is.
Brotherhood's
It's
a lot.
Definitely
it's
one of the
unique, but this
People
week,
don't understand. I mean, it's a job that
but it's like
I don't want to say you can't
it's the greatest job in
can't
the
pin
world.
it to anything else.
Nope, nothing.
Our job is the most unique job in the world. You sit at that kitchen table every morning, drink a cup of coffee with your crew.
Solve the world's problems, man. It's
You may or may not go home the next morning.
yeah.
Right.
I'm there at 8:30 in the morning drinking
And
coffee.
those company officers, and I'm a company officer, Tony's company officer. It's unreal the responsibility that I've got
Yeah.
for the other 3 or 4 guys that are on my crew. It could be all EMS calls all day long. Cool, we're going home. Or you have that one call in the middle of the night and something goes AWOL.
Yeah.
So it's
Especially being close to the families. That's
Yeah.
the crazy part. And we're unique. I mean, I don't want to say we're unique because it's a
Our
brotherhood.
crew's tight.
So,
Our
but
crew's
our crew,
extremely tight.
we're very full. We're all on the same shift. Tony's my lieutenant. James is at another house. But like, it's
a better
crazy.
house.
A better house. I want to murder.
A nice house.
Right.
But
It's
it's
got
crazy.
a bunch
It's-
of old
we're-
guys and him.
We're so close that it's like, and my wife calls it boys club because we'll go back. We'll drive. We're driving back from Daytona 2 weeks ago, and she's like, I don't want to work Monday. I'm like, yeah, going back to work. She's like,
Ready to go to
you
work.
love your job, and I'm like, I do. And I've said this. I've been
Don't
on.
hate on me for that.
I've been on the job.
Yeah.
I'm in my 9th year now, and I have never once, not whether I'm out drinking for however long I shouldn't be drinking, whether my kid's up all night, I have never once woke up at 5:30, 6 in the morning and thought,
Yeah.
I don't want to go to work
Never.
today. Ever.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother.
Never
Me
once.
either.
And
Never.
I tell people that all the time. I said, that is, to me, I made it. Like
Yeah.
that to me, that my life is worth it.
Who
'Cause
else has that?
No one. Like I wake up
Who?
at 5:30, 6 a.m.
I want to say law
I
enforcement.
go,
Them
we're out-
guys are like,
Yeah,
I'm scared to go to work.
This
just
week,
wanna be firefighters.
whatever.
Yeah.
We go out
I
drink.
just
We go
wanna
out.
be
We go out
firefighters.
drink with buddies at 1:30 on a Friday night, and I get up Saturday for shift at 5:30, 6 a.m. And I'm like, oh, I get to go to work. I get to
Yeah.
go see these guys. I get to go talk to these guys.
Name another job.
I love vacation. I work for vacation. I love vacation, and having a job where you're on vacation for 3 days and you're like, I miss those. I miss
Yeah.
work.
Go back to work.
I miss those guys. That's-
backstory.
Yeah.
Backstory is he goes on vacation with all of us.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the whole
We
group
talk
goes on
that's true.
vacation.
We all go on
And we
vacation.
talk strategy.
We all go on vacation. We're like, man, let's get away from the firehouse.
And we bust
go to
each other's
we go to
chops
Florida
about
and
the
talk about the
firehouse.
firehouse. Like,
We
yeah.
all sit in the hotel and we're like,
Yeah.
what do you think?
What do you
caught
think
a fire
about this?
there?
Yeah. Like, I mean,
We'd lay in right there, right?
So that
With
firehouse,
the
that
ladder.
firehouse is right there.
what are
dude.
we
I'm
doing?
criticizing
They do a lot of
Daytona
the
Beach.
lawns.
I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. like I'm the chief down there or something. Like, I mean, that's the
But
reality.
it's
Messed up.
Yeah.
It's incredible having a job, not a job, having a career where you wake
Right.
up and you're like, I get to go see these
Dude,
guys.
like I'll text my wife.
I
It
get
would be
to go
like,
out, yeah.
I don't know, 12 hours in a shift, and I'll just send her a text and like, I love my job.
Yeah,
right?
And
yeah.
she's like, what are you
I'm
talking
I'm
about?
serious. Look,
She's like,
2 weeks ago.
why are you texting
We're
me
driving
this,
back,
you know?
and she said, "I'm gonna work Monday."
But she'll
I'm
be like, she'll text me back. I'm so happy, you know. But on that note too, like a shout out to all the fire wives.
Oh,
Man, dude, they
man.
are
Oh,
solid.
man.
I
This
mean,
week-
it's
this week, I can imagine you.
Yeah,
guys
my wife's
leaving.
holding down the fort. His
Dude,
wife's
I'm
holding down the
and
fort.
when you're going
Yeah.
to the third day or
Yeah.
your shift, it's and
She takes on all the roles when we're not
regardless,
there.
all
you
the
know?
stress
So,
that comes into this week of getting everything set up and all of that. The hardest part is that.
It
It's
is,
they
yeah.
like I know I got my kids for 2 hours. My wife goes to the grocery store, and I'm like, I don't know how you do this. I can't deal with this. And
I
they
don't
do it.
know,
They do
like-
it for a week, and they go into it knowing it's going to be terrible, and you feel bad, but you know what FDIC is about. But
My wife-
they're the
have.
they're the soldiers for sure, hands down.
That's what we met
Hands
tonight.
down.
It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
we went and had a quick dinner
it's
with
like our
them.
wives. They take. I got 3 kids. You got 3 kids.
I got
Oh,
two.
you got 3 or 4?
3.
3. Okay, you
He's
got
got
2.
2.
I got 2.
He's got a little boy.
You're
Yeah.
my
One
fourth.
on the way.
Yeah.
You're my fourth.
Fourth of the way. The tender
My
fourth.
wife-
Charlie's
wife-
been
It
so
is.
good balance for
Dude,
me.
it is, man. And
I don't know how they do it.
And a lot of people don't understand that because I got buddies that obviously aren't on the job and they want to do like they'll invite me somewhere and I'm like, man, I'm not. But you see your family every night. I don't. If I'm gone
right.
24 hours and I go out that next, like I don't see them for 48 hours. So
Right.
But the wives are soldiers.
What
The
about
families are
this?
soldiers.
They're like, are you really going to a basketball game with the crew?
Yeah, you
Did
see them every third day.
You were just there with them 24
Yeah,
hours.
you
I'm
see
like,
them every third day.
I know, hon. I mean, you
It's-
just don't understand.
it's hard.
It's
Well,
crazy.
and it's
Yeah,
hard.
but you got to play the card like, hey, listen, they're my responsibility. Even like I can't let Andy go to the Pacer game
But it's the
'cause
other
I
way
don't know
around.
what he's
But
gonna do.
It's
and then
hard.
it's like,
It's
I don't know.
it's hard. And the older I get, the more I understand. It's hard to bridge that gap
Yeah.
because, like, my wife loves her job. She loves her coworkers. She loves what she does, but she will never have what I have.
Yep.
She will never have the family aspect of what we have.
They
And
always look at us crazy when we say
Yeah.
this. I think all of our
yeah.
wives, because they're all close.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
I literally say when Andy's like,
Texting every day.
my best friend here, and I'm like, listen,
mouth.
man. At the end of the day, your best friends are those that'll burn their ears off right next to you.
Oh, yeah.
And our wives will look at us and go, I don't understand why you would just lay there and
my wife's
my
always-
brother will never
my
die
wife-
alone.
My wife's always
That's
been
the
baffled.
reality.
She's always
Like,
been baffled by that.
He'll never die alone. I'll
She's-
lay right there next to him.
She's
and
made that comment, and I said, I've said there's one of two ways. He's coming out, or I'm going with him. And she's
Sure.
like, that's dumb.
Sure.
You're gonna leave
Yeah.
both families. I said, you're not understanding it. Like, there's no way I'm not going.
You don't
Yeah.
leave anybody behind.
You don't,
man.
but
You
there's
just
no
don't.
way I'm going out with that. Yeah. So
And you know, like you guys said, same thing with me. But when I have to go to the firehouse, I never am not excited to go there.
ever.
So
It's crazy.
I get there in the morning and the guys put the coffee on, and then we sit there and we talk for a couple minutes before we check the rig out. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's just nice to
Yeah.
be together.
Yeah.
man.
The
Just-
kitchen table's
just
the greatest.
talk.
It's the greatest
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
ever, man.
I tell
Coffee.
my crew all the time, like the mundane stuff, the toilets, the floors, the apparatus, that stuff can wait. Because the brotherhood, everything you're going to need to know
Is at
is
that
going to
table.
happen at that table in the morning.
Dude, funny enough, our table is we have a kitchen table. I want to put that out there because the guys gonna be watching it. My guys gonna be like, we have a kitchen table, but it's upstairs on the second floor, and we don't really go up there except maybe to have lunch or breakfast or whatever. But our kitchen table is this huge, just like this,
Yeah.
right? Just like this table. Parent made it. One of our guys' parent, and you know,
Shout out, parent.
parent's a man, and it's just a wooden beat up, you know, table. It's solid. It's solid as a rock. But that's where we sit. You know, we sit around that in the shop, and we sit around that table, man, and we
Solve
talk.
world's
Everybody talks and has
problems,
a good time.
Yeah.
Generally, it's about 15 minutes of breaking balls, and then
Oh yeah. Make fun of the
another
other
15
shit.
minutes
Then
solving
they
the
leave.
world's
We
problems.
talk
Yeah.
shit about that shit.
Yeah. That's usually
clean the floors yesterday. Yeah.
that's usually what happens. And eventually we'll walk out and we'll get the ladder checked out. But it's good. And like I said, this dialogue we're having together, I mean, this is important. You
Yeah,
know,
oh, yeah.
and this, if people watching this right now, if they're still watching this, you know, hopefully they're thinking, this is what I need to do back at my house. You know,
Yes.
I
Yes.
just did an
Yes.
episode with Chief John Novak from Tom's River, and he's got a long time on. He's got a long time
Yeah.
on, right? And he said that in their volunteer house, he just bought a brand new table. I mean, this is a legit table with their logos on it. You know those tables I'm talking about?
Heck yeah.
And I said, man, that's a big investment. And he goes, for me, it wasn't an investment. It's an investment on my men, on my guys. Because what we're going to do is, he goes, I bought that table. I bought dry erase boards. We're going to sit back there, and we're going to have dialogue. We're going to have open dialogue. Every time we get back from a bad call, and they're a busy house.
Yeah.
They see a lot of work, a lot of crashes, a lot of bad stuff. He goes, we're going to sit back at that table, and we're going to do this. We're going to talk. Just like we're doing on your show, we're going to do this, but we're all our people. We're going to sit and talk. And it's so nice to see that a senior guy like that, right?
Yeah.
A senior guy with a lot of time on, over 30 years, sees that the importance of that, because that wasn't happening 30 years ago.
No.
Okay, what was happening 30 years ago is like, next,
Sure.
because we don't talk
That's
about
fine,
those
yeah.
things, and we just bottle it up.
Elephant. No.
So I mean, so many Chiefs are just like, I'll just get a table at the wholesale furniture and we'll just put it in this room. But the reality is the table isn't just a price tag. The table isn't just a piece of wood that you buy. The table is a living, breathing organism of a firehouse.
It
I mean,
is.
that's the reality.
Our firehouse and his firehouse are both tables that were built from the guys using wood. The hell, 45, the house that he's not at anymore. He moved out of. He's the house
We
captain.
built that table out of
Another one, but
hardwood
we
floor
we
out of
use
my house.
his old hardwood. We had leftover
That's
hardwood
awesome,
floor.
man.
He builds it. Got the union stick, the whole
You know,
thing.
and we
it's-
believe in it so much that
Yeah.
we throw
Take care
a
of it, like,
911
wipe it
343
down.
sticker
Yeah,
on there.
yeah.
So when you have coffee, you have to see. And behind us is all the names of all the brothers that died. I mean, like it
Flag with all
should
of them.
live. We can't just talk about it. We actually have to be about it.
Dude, could
and
you-
when Chiefs like the,
John Novak.
yeah, like John Novak, you know, when they mention that, when they're okay spending that money, it's refreshing
Refreshing,
because
yeah.
there's a lot that
sure.
that aren't.
No, absolutely. And again, I love what you said before, man. When you said, you know, we could be here today and not tomorrow.
Yeah, I get that
It's
a lot.
so true.
I get that a lot.
It,
is.
you know, if you think about it, because we take that shit for granted. Let's
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I know I do. I'll be
Yeah,
honest with you.
yeah,
I go to
yeah.
work. I just
Yeah.
go to
Never
work.
gonna happen.
I just go to work. You know,
Not gonna happen to me.
Not
Yeah.
that I don't think it's gonna happen to me, because it could, but I just go to work, man. I just put my gear. I go to work. I don't even think about it. But then
I'm excited when I go in.
Right?
This is going in.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, you're
Crazy,
right. No
man.
matter what it is.
But
Our
then,
lives
then you
will
know,
be
but then
back
you hear the
down.
story. You
But
hear
then
the story.
I sit here and I've been doing this for a long time, man. You know, I started when I was 14 as a junior member in my fire department, volunteer department, and here I am, 43, and I still love every minute of that. You
You're
know,
that old?
but I hear I am that
You don't look a day over 26.
But I-
You're in a prime.
old. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Someone recently told me I look like I was 29.
You
so-
do. Oh yeah, I told you.
I would've guessed
When I asked you how long you been on the job, you said that. I said you don't look like it. So good for you, man.
So you know, I'm sitting here before, and you know, I talk. You know, I talk to so many people in this awesome program I got going on, man. And I'm sitting here listening to your story. I gotta be honest, it was tough.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
It was
yeah.
tough. I sat
Yeah.
here and I really tried
all
to keep
the
it
chill
together.
bumps, man.
Right.
Me too,
Oh,
man. But when you were saying that, man, it hits home. It's like, man, this is like that could happen to any one of us. Any one of us at this table a year from now,
Yeah. Might not
one
be.
less could be at this table, man. God
But could
forbid.
you imagine if there's conversations like Charlie had, like just open up, like, I mean, that just, dude, like that's comforting. Like, I mean, like he just opened up about that
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, you
oh,
are human.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
No, I mean, if everyone would open up that way, I don't know, man. Everyone, it would just be normal, you know. Like that should be a normal thing that you know that you should talk about. I don't know, man.
Well,
I harp on that a good bit, but I mean, honestly, like it's up to us. It's up to the company officers, you know, to make that a normality upon your crew, you know.
It's
But
tough, but that's the whole buddy to boss.
yeah,
Sure.
If I was just your boss,
Never see it. Never see
don't
it.
know that I would
Talk
see
about
it.
it. Yeah.
but I'm in the lives of my guys.
Sure.
So
There's a
I'm
quote
not
on
discrediting the whole buddy to boss thing, but
Sure.
there's got to be a point where I know all my guys. I know all my guys' family. Some of these big cities, though, that's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go out to big cities. Like I don't.
2,000 guys.
In
You
Los
don't know
Angeles, they don't people that work there. You got 3,000 firemen.
it.
Yeah.
They don't. They'll graduate their academy class and never see their academy mate ever again.
Yeah.
So
Their
it's
whole career,
extremely
30 plus
hard
years. They
for
got
the
guys that you know
company
you're working in
officers to do
overtime or something at the station, and then you hear it all the time. Like, dude, I don't even know who these guys are.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, I'm working overtime. I've never seen this person. Don't know
Our neighboring
them.
department,
Yeah.
the same exact way.
1,300 people,
They're
yeah.
like my crew. we will never have what you guys have.
Sure.
We will never have your driver.
Everyone's got the
your
pros,
backseaters.
cons.
We'll
Yeah.
never have that
Yeah.
because we have so many guys floating in, floating out. So some of those guys
Everybody's
might miss
pros,
that.
cons. Yeah.
So
But
it's
for me, like, I mean, in my department, so we're small. We're the city of Glendale, and just outside Los Angeles, 10 miles out downtown LA. We got 9 stations and 150 sworn members. So everyone, it's big enough where we spread out. And you're like, hey, I can work at my station and not see the guys downtown, whatever. But everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
Everyone
You all
knows
know
who's
who
kind of
is.
who's
Yeah.
married, who has kids, who's whatever. And then I got my buddies that work over in LA. And it can be completely different. And when I think about that, and these guys talk about, I don't even know these guys. They're working overtime at the house. I'm like, never seen these people before. They don't
who
know.
is this guy?
To me, it'd be like, that's a cool opportunity because in my station, in my department, I already know everybody, right?
Yeah.
The only time we get someone new is when we hire someone new. And you're like, okay, tell me about yourself. All right, now I know.
excited
Okay,
puppy.
right?
Yeah, I'm in.
Now you're my rookie or whatever, right? And so, like, to me, if you had that opportunity, you got all these members to, pick their brain, talk like, hey, so where are you from? Tell me about yourself. Like, how long have you been on the
What's the
job?
story?
Like
That's awesome.
all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like to me, like that's for me, right? Like that would be a cool opportunity to be able to do that. But how many of us are now? I should say not the culture or the mentality. It's just like, okay, this is who I'm working with today. I don't know this person. I'm not, and I don't want to say anything wrong. I'm not really going to talk too much and just going to get through the shift. And then once the shift's over, I'll never see that person again.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just like, that's just lost.
Weird.
Like that's,
Man, it is an absolute unwritten rule on our shift because we're all on the same shift that you will hang out together.
Yep.
You will be around each other, and every one of our guys gets invited to everything, whether it be a Pacer game, whether it be a 9 at the shop. You pick it. Every one of our guys gets invited to that, and I think I told you this the other day. Like we believe that very early because of the fact we talked about it earlier. We talked about that tomorrow isn't promised.
Right.
I think on the movie Lone Survivor, if you ever watch that movie, he said, tell them that I died with my brothers with a full heart. Like I think about that, and I think about if my kid has to go, what was my dad's last day? These guys can be like, you know what? It was like every other day, man. It was this is who he was. This is and that the only way you keep that is by those relationships and fostering them early.
Absolutely.
Whether you're in Glendale or whether you're in New Palestine, Indiana, like that has to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I have your truck?
It's a real shit over.
Jesus, yeah.
His door
doesn't open. Yeah.
Big shop truck.
The windows cracked. I mean, you can have it.
So that's a yes.
Ish.
I'll put it in the will.
Ish.
Well, listen, brothers. We've been talking for about an hour now. Any closing thoughts, man?
We could go for 6.
Oh yeah.
We definitely could, but
For time purposes.
everybody's got to get up for FDIC tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
Closing thoughts, man. Because one, I just want to say this. This is my closing thought. I just want to say that it's been an absolute honor to meet you guys. Blake, I know we've been talking a lot on Instagram and all that stuff, but to meet you in person was special to me. Charlie, an absolute honor, man. Being here in your guys' shop, being invited into your home, because it's your home, right? This shop's your home. Yeah. So to be invited here was important to me. It means something to me. When I leave FDIC, I'm going to have a whole new recharge, if you will. This show of mine, it's an unbelievable opportunity for me. And before, when you talk about your own therapies, this is my therapy.
Absolutely.
Being able to talk to like-hooded brothers with the same mission and the same core values as me, and having them tell me their stories, having them comfortable enough to tell me their stories, is special. Mm-hmm. It's special. Not to sound corny, but it's special to me that they open up and they tell me these things. And like you wouldn't open up and tell anybody that unless you felt comfortable with them, unless you felt like you were around people you care about and people care about you. So with that, I just want to thank you guys. And again, this is a great opportunity, and I'm so happy I came out here at FDIC.
Yes, man. We're so glad you came.
And we have friendships now for life.
Yes, absolutely. That's the coolest part about it. Hands down, the coolest part about it.
Closing thoughts, brother.
Man, I got nothing. I'm
nothing.
blessed. That's all I can say. Next rung, Axehead, it's unreal. I never would have seen. I grew up in this area. Never went to college.
We know.
A lot of guys are like,
We know.
really? You became who
We
you
know.
became?
Yeah, like, when'd you get out of prison? It's
These
like,
guys are always busting my balls about this, but I love my job. I love what I'm doing. I love helping people. I got this guy. That's all that matters. My families are good. I mean, I got nothing. I mean, it's just, my wife is great. My family's good.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. If you're in this job, and I don't know that you listen to this for any reason, any particular reason, but if you're in this job, remember the brotherhood. Remember what it's about. And I will say this. My wife, she's like, "Oh, you're doing it. You're working the booth. You guys are doing the business." It's not for the business. We're blessed to have that business, but hands down, the best part is we texted these guys last week and said we are so excited to see. We met them last year, and we've been waiting for 365 days to see them. Like it's awesome. And then you guys, with you and Flo and Vint and all these guys from Jersey, Rob from Ridgeway, like it's cool because they come in and you meet them and you put a face with them, but you're like, dude, I feel like I've known you for 10 years.
Yeah, social media did that.
It did.
Social
And like I
media
said
did
it earlier. I said social media from a personal aspect, I deleted it. I don't like it. I don't have personal social media, but the business aspect, the fire service aspect.
You feel like you know them already.
It's awesome. You feel like you know
them,
them, but you get to meet guys who want to make this job better.
Yep.
Who want to keep this tradition going, who
Like-minded.
want to make this job better, and who are in it for the right reasons. So, if you're in this job, don't ever take it for granted. Don't ever get up and think, "Oh, I got to go to work today." Get up and say, "Hey, I get to go to work today.
I'm blessed.
I get to go see this
So
guy.
true.
I get to go see this guy. I get to see how his kid's birthday was. I get to see how this guy's wife's her work week was. I get to see, you know what I mean? Like, be thankful. You have the greatest job. And people think I just say that because I love my job. This is the greatest job in the world. Period.
We have a couple things we say in the shop.
Yeah, it's be a good person. Yeah, be humble.
Be humble and be hungry.
And do your job. Just
That's it.
be grateful for what you get. No one, like, I have so many buddies who are like, "Man, I wish I would have gotten the fire service."
Yes.
And I'm like, "Dude, you have
no clue."
Literally, like, I wish I would have
No
gotten the
clue.
fire service. I wish I would have done that. And I'm like, "Dude, you have no idea."
It's like hitting the lottery.
Well, it
That
is,
is
but
so
like
true.
what they see
It's
from
so
the
true.
what they see from the outside aspect is, hey, this guy works 10 days a month. This guy's got decent benefits. He's got a pension. He makes a decent salary. Like, I should have done that. Right? Yeah, right. Down south. Yeah, right. So
He's skate away from
yeah.
that.
But he's like, this guy works every 10 days. And I don't want to drag it on, but he's like, this guy works every 10 days. And that's what they see. But they don't see the number one thing, which is I love what I do. The helping people's awesome. It is. It's fantastic. You got into it for that. But what you get on the back end is that brotherhood. It's this guy texting me, "Happy birthday. Hey, man, I saw your wife posted this. How's she doing? Hey, it's your kid's birthday. Happy." Like, it's that.
Yeah.
And that is, it's the coolest thing in the world. It really is, man.
100%.
It really is.
Bro, that's cool.
So, I am in a very unique position at the table. I get to work with my best friends every third day at the firehouse, and then when I'm off. I'm blessed to have a job here at Access Threads. I've supported these guys since day one. I knew as soon as they pitched it, this was going to blow up. And it has nothing to do with me. It has strictly to do with the heart inside of the chest. Like, I've known these guys that there's nobody else that I would rather lay my life down for. Flip side of that, I was just telling Blake this. The best thing about Next Rung, the best thing about being a member of the Next Rung team was, before they even got big, before people even was wearing the shirts, Blake, when I got baptized, messaged me and said, "Congratulations, that's awesome." And that was before I knew he was a brother. That was before I knew he was that was just being a good person and another brother in Christ. And at the end of the day, when he asked me to be a member of Next Rung, I didn't even think about it. I was like, "Yeah, send me the paper. Let's sign it now.
Yeah.
I'll change my Instagram."
What's my signing bonus?
Signing bonus.
When I met Charlie, I California, from Indiana to California to Jersey, like, we have no connection other than this.
Right.
But Charlie Brown he's my brother. I mean, and you and I, we went back and forth and we made this podcast happen. And it had nothing to do with I wanted these guys' brand out here. It had to do with what you're doing for the fire service is something we
cool,
can
man.
get behind.
It's cool.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
We could take the shirts off and
Absolutely.
have regular shirts.
Absolutely.
But
What
you
you're
care
doing,
about
what
the
you're
fire
doing is cool,
service,
dude.
and-
Keeping the tradition
and
alive is cool.
I'm a student of this business. And anybody who cares about the fire service the way you do, I want to be a part of that. I don't have to have this shirt on, I don't have to have that shirt on, but I want to be at the same table as you.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we're
thank
just
Yes.
as blessed to have
Times
you
1,000, man. Absolutely.
as
Absolutely.
you are to have us.
It means more than you
It's
need
cool.
to know.
It's cool, dude.
does.
It really is. It's cool. You can tell
Charlie,
you care.
last thoughts, brother.
Well, I think Blake said it before. We're extremely humbled to be sitting here right now. This is something we could have never even pictured in the wildest dreams. What this even looked like when we started. Like, we don't know what it's going to look like. To have the connections that we've made, whether it's through social media,
Yeah.
FDIC, people reaching out and talking to us. We talked about the brotherhood, and it really knows no bounds. You know, it's hard. You can't put a restriction on it. You can't say like I'm only going to know these people within my fire department or within my area or whatever. I mean, it knows no bounds. It's coming to Indiana. It's now Jersey. It's, you know, we talked to guys from Canada yesterday. We got some friends in Montreal now, you know, and so it's just like,
Hey,
it's amazing. It's just amazing. It boggles my mind to think that, you know, there's people out there that if I ever was in some, you know, out there visiting or whatever, I could call. I got friends. I got people I know in different places, and I can call them and say, hey, I got my family, or we're coming by, or whatever. You know, it's just blows my mind, you know, and I think that right there is what, for the folks that aren't, you know, a part of this, or they're not choosing to dive into it, they're missing out on that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they kind of look at you weird, like,
Oh, yeah.
that's so, like, I don't understand why you're doing that, you know. But it's like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is this right here. This is what it's about.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, just so humbling to be able to be here. You know, and again, with Next Rung stuff, we're just trying to be a resource. We're not trying to be the resource. The biggest thing we try, the message we can try and get across is, you know, reach out to someone. There's always someone to listen and that is willing to listen to you, that's willing to talk to you. If you ever feel like you don't have somebody or that you don't know where to go, where to turn, you know, give us a call, send us a text, social media, Instagram, Facebook, now Twitter.
Right.
Oh, your Twitter.
Uh,
Got the tweeters.
Twitter.
I heard it's like the thing to do. I don't know.
We got
But,
26 followers.
You gotta start somewhere. You know, send us an email,
Follow us
whatever
on
it may be.
Twitter.
But seriously, like, just reach out. You know, extend that hand, and we're gonna grab a hold of it. We're gonna walk with you every step of the way. There's once we've got you, we're not letting go. You know, it doesn't matter where you're from, what you do.
Hell
So that's
Hell yes.
And that's it.
Blake,
You
follow
got
it up,
nothing,
buddy.
Blake.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have
no
said it
pressure,
all.
you're
The
the
best,
best.
the
What he
worst
said.
for last. Yeah, man. You know, I think obviously
Stash
we're
talking.
yeah, it's my mustache. It tells me what to say. If I shave it, will you still love me?
Yeah.
No, I think,
I
you know,
would.
in closing, I mean, we just want to be here to you know, serve others like that. That's my heart as a whole. Like, naturally, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I just want to serve, and that's, you know, what we want to do as Next Rung is we want to serve this brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, and give back, because we serve so much. Like, we give so much of ourselves. Our families give so much for us, you know. I mean, so we just want to serve each other, because we know that we have needs that need to be met, that we tend to kind of put those on the back burner for everyone else. So we want to be here for each other, obviously, and you know, the brotherhood is alive, you know, and that's what we want people to know as well. And we've had people come to us as like, I can't talk to the people that I'm around. Like, hey, if you can't talk to them, like, we will be your brotherhood. You know, we will be that for you, and you have someone that cares about you. And you know, I think, you know, lastly is we're honored, you know, and we're grateful that people trust us with their story, you know, to talk about and just, you know, allow us to walk with them through those things, you know. And so we're definitely grateful for that, you know, and we want to be trusted, and we may not always have the right answer or the perfect answer, you know, or I don't know, but we're going to do our damnedest, I guess, to do what we can to help whoever comes to us. We're not going to give up. We're not going to give up on them. You know, we've made that comment to people. We're going to try our hardest and find every resource possible to make sure that we gave everything that we could. We're going to lay everything on the table. It doesn't matter if I had to, you know, write a check for every penny that's in the bank account. Like, I will do that for one person. If it saves their life, game over. We're done. We're out, and we win. You know, so you know, that's why we're here. We love these people. You know, we love this brotherhood, and we're grateful for it. And I'm grateful for, you know, all of you guys, and thank you, you know, for allowing us to share our story and you know, our brotherhood with these guys and the family that they've become, the family that you've become, and man, we're just we're blessed, man. So definitely grateful for that, and grateful for this experience as a whole.
Absolutely, man. Right on. All right, so get this big gas microphone over here. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up real quick. Here we are, 2019, Indianapolis at the FDIC. My first event, not sure first rodeo of mine, which I enjoyed very much, and I know you guys wanted to give me something, which is pretty exciting. I've been
man.
waiting for this. It's
We
so
wanted
exciting.
to give you this, a couple polos to
Oh,
thank
that's
you,
awesome.
man, for this, for what you're doing. Not
Thanks,
so much
man.
coming to see us, but just
Yeah, brother.
just for what you're doing, dude. For the fire service, it's cool.
got
It
it.
really is. It's very cool. So we appreciate you. You got a badass logo too, so that helps. But
Anytime you got a federal Q in here.
right, yeah.
And
so.
we might have
Wear
put
that
our
thing
logo
out.
So you gotta,
on
you
one of
gotta
the
rep it.
sleeves,
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
sleeves. No, man, we appreciate it. We
That's
really do.
awesome.
We appreciate all the time, the setup you do, what you're doing for fire service. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
seriously.
I'm gonna,
Thank you,
I'm
man.
gonna
We
continue.
appreciate
yes,
you.
yeah, yeah.
man.
Seriously, it is.
Listen, it means a lot to me, and I'll continue to do this as long as I can, God willing. So again, this is 2019. I have a feeling we'll be doing this again next year. I don't know.
Yes,
It
yes,
seems like
yes,
it might
yes,
be.
yes,
Maybe
yes.
next year you can get a round table.
Let's
Yeah,
look
maybe-
at him over there. I don't know.
Makes
I
it
like
solid.
it. I like it.
Maybe
It's
the big
coffee. No, what?
We'll run it back for sure.
So make sure that you check in the next rung. Such an important
Absolutely.
organization.
Absolutely.
One I stand behind 100%.
Thank you, guys.
And Axehead, brothers, I ain't going nowhere else for my apparel. I'll tell you that right now. So again, thanks for the support. Make sure you check us out on the Instagram. Everybody here has got Instagram, so check those out too. And I'll put those links up there so everybody can see what we're talking about. Very first episode for the Roundtable, and this will say hashtag square table, rectangle table. All right, stay safe, be careful, and as always, look out for each other.